My name is TotalBiscuit, and I suck at Starcraft 2. Welcome to a series of videos showing how much I suck at Starcraft 2. The point of this entire series is to document my ascension from absolutely terrible to slightly less terrible, and hopefully show you a couple of tips and tricks along the way. You can learn from my mistakes, as I attempt to as well. Now, I'm facing off against my sparring partner Malvu, who will be the opponent for the next few videos in this series. He's playing Protoss, I am playing Terran, and we'll start the replay off right now. I'm going to be addressing things in the term of an absolute beginner. So you can see those 6 units there go by the name of SCVs. They are mining units. They can also build. The idea is they go to the minerals, they bring the minerals back to the base. I then, as you can see in the top right-hand corner there, gain minerals, which are the little blue crystals in the top. They are the primary method of building units. There's 2 resources in this game, at least that you acquire via mining. Minerals and Vespene gas. Vespene gas we don't need for basic buildings in units, so we're just concentrating on minerals for the time being. You can see at our command center we can build SCVs, and I'm building as many as I possibly can at the moment to attempt to maximize my resource income. Now, Malvu is doing the same, and is also building something by the name of a pylon. The pylon provides the third resource, which is supply. Supply is taken up by building units, and the units of various size take up various supply. And I'm building my version right there, which is a supply depot. Building the first one of those so that I can build yet more SCVs. As you can see, I am now at capacity. The top right-hand corner, 11 out of 11 supply available there. So, as we go along, we can see that Malvu already has 18 supply available and is building a bunch more. Now, we look at the resources here. This is a nice little panel in StarCraft 2. It allows us to monitor various resource levels. At the moment, we're pretty much equal, with Malvu leading slightly in terms of his economy. He has more probes, and he also has more supply available. My supply is now up, and I am using my SCV to build a barracks, which will allow me to construct some basic infantry units. You can see the comparison there. He's got 13 builders, I have 11. I'm still building as fast as I can. Unfortunately, Malvu is slightly ahead in terms of his economy because he got his pylon up before I got my supply depot up, so he's able to continue to build more of those probes right there. And you see he's building a third pylon right there. They also provide some kind of power matrix, which allows you to build various buildings within it. You'll also notice there that he is building a gateway, which is his version of the barracks. And he is, again, slightly ahead in terms of resources as a result of having more of those harvesting units there. Now, I did not build an extra SCV there, which was quite silly. I probably should have concentrated on building a couple more supply depots, which would allow me to construct yet more SCVs. You can see he's 4 ahead there, which is really going to hurt me in terms of economy. What I also haven't done there is something I'll show you a little bit later on, is I have not done what is called managing the choke. And in order to manage the choke on this map, there is a choke point to the north of my base that could be used to, say, send a scout or early rush through. I can block that off with supply depots, which would stop that from happening. He's got his first unit over there. That's a Zealot. The Zealot is particularly strong. I can build basic marine units from my barracks. They cost about half as much as a Zealot, but a Zealot is roughly twice as tough. However, they are only melee-centric units. Now look at the spending there. He's way ahead on his economy. I've got a slightly higher in technology because I've got 2 of those barracks up there, as well as 2 Vespene refineries. A little bit early to be mining Vespene. You see there, he's sending his scout in. This is a probe that he's sending to have a look at what I'm building so that he can counter it accordingly. Me being the scrub that I am, didn't do anything of the sort, and I also did not block the entrance to the base at the north, so he is able to easily move on in. And, oh, hello, there he is, and I can't do anything about that. He's looking at my base, he can see that I have a barracks, and he can also see that I'm building a reactor on one of my barracks. Now, what the reactor allows is for the ability to build 2 basic units at once. They're mutually exclusive, these upgrades. You can build either a tech lab or a reactor. Reactor, you can build 2 units at once, but only the basic level units, and a tech lab gives access to upgrades and the more advanced units. So you can see there he's building his second gateway, and he already has 2 Zealots, and he's way ahead in terms of the amount of probes he's got out. He's got 25 to my 14, and his economy is streaming ahead as a direct result of that. Now, I didn't know this, of course, until I started watching these replays, but it would appear that that's a reasonable way of starting everything off. Build as many resource gathering units as humanly possible to support an early economic rush. And then after that, you can deal with expanding out of the other resource fields. I'm building some Marines there to try and get an early force available, although at the moment, he is already vastly outmaneuvering me in terms of how many units he's got. I'm able to build Marines faster than he can build Zealots, admittedly, but he has more Zealots, and Zealots one-on-one are certainly the tougher, superior units. Now, I do have units up available now, so I should be able to stop that second scout of his, but I would imagine he's still going to be able to see what I've got and counter it accordingly. He has 4 Zealots there, and he is continuing to build nothing but probes over and over again. 28 to my 14. He's got double what I have, and he also matches my Marines 1-for-1, which means a very quick death for the Marines. I've moved an SCV up there, but for some incredibly stupid reason, I didn't start building. This is the thing with Starcraft. Starcraft requires quite a lot of micromanagement and very fast APM, that's actions per minute. Since I'm a scrub at this game, I have not yet learned how to do that properly. So you can see he is still outmaneuvering me in terms of how many units. He's now got 3 gateways up, and he's producing Zealots at an incredibly fast rate. His income is exceptionally good, and he's also moving in a lot of Vespene gas, which will allow him to build. He's also... You can see there, you can have a look at the upgrades available there. He hasn't upgraded anything yet, but he's still spamming Zealots as fast as he possibly can. Now, finally, I realized that that would be a good idea, and there goes the probes. Now, I built a couple of these Reaver units. These are advanced jump pack units. They're effective against light armor. They can also do a lot of damage to buildings because they throw sticky explosives. Now, you can get a really good early game advantage with these Reavers by jumping into an enemy base. Yeah, you can bypass choke points by jumping over otherwise impassable obstacles early on and do damage to buildings, as well as, more importantly, destroy resource gatherers to slow their economic growth. You see the comparison there. He's got 10 Zealots against my 9 Marines and 3 Reavers. I would still not fancy my chances, and he's still double what I have in terms of resource gathering, so his economy is performing far, far better. Now, he's building something here called Stalkers. Stalkers will... They're range support units, and they will provide him with a lot of extra firepower. Firepower that I currently do not have. Now, you can see the Reavers down there. I was going to move them in to do a little bit of probe destruction. Didn't work out so well. I would have known that had I scouted the base. Now, that's a Zelnaga watchtower. They're quite handy. You can see them on the map as white dots. They illuminate an area around them. But as you can see there on these displays that I've got here, I am vastly outnumbered and out-teched. Well, you can just check the minimap down at the bottom left. You will see that I'm moving in to try a quick strike, thinking, hey, I'm definitely ahead of him. No, not really. He's got more than twice my resource gatherers, and of course then has twice my resources. Moving in a unit of around 10 Marines there, and I'm moving in my Reavers to back them up, and I'm about to get absolutely annihilated. As you're about to see there, they're moving towards where I was going to move in. Gathered them together there. It's like, hey, let's go and strike at them. Yeah, let's be ownage. No, absolutely not. Very, very dead, very, very fast, ladies and gentlemen. Reavers go in there and say, this is a really bad idea, let's get the hell out. Thankfully, they can. They can jump over cliffs, as you're about to see here. Very neat ability. But unfortunately, that means that the majority of my army is now dead. And I would imagine that Malvo is going to go and take advantage of that. And that's, in fact, exactly what he does. You can see his base there. Far superior resource gathering there. Hasn't even got an expansion yet. Doesn't need to. Able to build far more units than I am, has a higher tech level, and soon enough he's going to come in and show me what a terrible idea my particular build order was. I'm going to fast forward quite soon. You see we've finally got the expansion up there. Not that it's helped at all. I shouldn't have even gone that early for an expansion. Let's increase the speed so that we see his units there moving over to my base, which is going to, of course, result in my death. So what do we learn from this? That's the question. Well, resource gathering needs to happen a lot faster. He out-resourced me, annihilated my force extremely early on, and of course, since I didn't scout, I had no idea what he had. He knew exactly what I had. He was able to create a proper force that was able to absolutely roll over my forces in short order. He smashes through the choke point there, and annihilates my base, and there we go. So let's have a look at a post-mortem here. We'll just pause the game, and we can have a look at these handy resource summaries that we've got here. Resources, look at that. 80 supply versus 23. Massive. Big income there, lots of spending. Lot more harvesters, 22 to 40. Massive economic and technological as well as army advantage. My units lost, I lose 15 to his 2, costing me a massive number of resources, and there's his units. Absolutely annihilated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit, and I suck at Starcraft 2. I will see you again next time where I attempt to suck less at Starcraft 2. Good night.